Hey everybody, it is Jen Ferguson here with Artistic Painting Studio, and welcome to my page, guys. Give me just a second. I want to make sure that we're live on the correct page and send out a couple of notices. Okay, we're going to do our text noticing this morning. And there's a lot to talk about, and we're just going to have some fun here. So let's get this ready to go. Oh, hold on a second. I made a rookie move. Okay, now I think I've got it. I forgot one thing. So yes, I'm on super early for our regular broadcasting, but I'm still over on the East Coast, guys. So it's 12:30 here, but it's still pretty early back home. But hopefully you guys will get a chance to come and join me. Okay, so we got that notice done, and let's go let everybody know and foil everything that we are here, and then I'll get you caught up. Okay, almost got it. One more little thing here, and we will be ready to have some fun. Woohoo! Okay. I love it when we get set up at a great RV park that doesn't have a ton of trees around us. We have wonderful internet service today, and we're going to be heading over to Toronto. So we're staying right now in Buffalo, New York. We're on what's called Grand Island. And I do a little bit of investigation, but I really did not see and I guess zoom in as close as I should have. But this is a really cool spot, you guys. We are surrounded completely by the Niagara River. So we're truly on an island here. It's beautiful, great park. And we've discovered that the drive over to Toronto is quite long, okay? They have really bad traffic. So it took us 2 hours to get there over 2 hours to get there last night. We didn't even get to the game till I think the second inning. And the A's kind of got their fannies handed to them last night. So by the time we walked in, it was either 6-0 or 8-0 in the second inning. But baseball is baseball. You win some, you lose some, okay? So I figured we are staying there tonight. We finally decided just to get a hotel room. We're staying in Toronto right by the stadium. We don't have to try to drive back tonight, and we can watch tonight's game and tomorrow's game, and then we'll come home. So we're super excited about that, but that means we got to leave here early. So you guys got me early, okay? Okay, I want to get caught up here on some comments. And a big shout out to Jessica. Thank you so much for the stars. You know, those are super appreciated. Good morning, Mary Jo, Linda. Susan is in the house. She said that those shoes turned out awesome. Okay, my mind is completely blank here. On who it was, okay, but we had one of our customers, and I shouted out her name in the post, but y'all, you got to go check our page. Make sure that you share some love with her. She knocked it out on the park on these shoes, okay? They are awesome. They are so stinking cute. And Gigi's here with us today right now, and she did a completely adorable pair. I think they're just canvas sneakers, and they are cute. I'm going to be out doing a little shopping this next week, and we are going to find us some shoes because I think I have like had it myself out. Okay, I still have a couple hats I gotta finish, but I think it's time to, we've been working on hats. It's time to do the shoes, okay? But today, oh, Susan, yes, those white boots. And then when I was in West Salem, Ohio with Joy from Hope and Joy Collectives, one of the other artists that does projects there had a pair of white boots, and I grabbed those and I said, Joy, you've got to go find out where she found these and grab you guys some, because they will be fabulous with, I don't know how many of our foils, but they are so cute. So definitely you guys go hit your Goodwills, your thrift stores, any kind of great sale going on, because those shoes were fabulous. Okay, I could definitely rock those. Good morning, Miss Joanne. Hello, Michelle. Michelle says she got her foil today. Yay! Nice early delivery. Marcy said she just got her order and can't wait to use her foils. Hello, Miss Terry from Colorado. Jennifer's in the house. Okay, you guys. I really want to start just kind of diving in and dedicating this live here today to our transparent foils, and just talking about how different some of them are. Some of them are completely transparent, some are semi-transparent, and how to kind of find the best color to work underneath. So I'm going to put my camera down and we're just going to get started here. Okay, let's make sure you can see what I'm doing. I feel like I want to do a slight adjustment, you guys, so forgive me, because we're going to pull the camera up and see if I can get a little bit further down. Okay, I kind of like that better. How's that, you guys? That wasn't a bad view to begin with. I guess I should look at my web or my Facebook or computer before I change my angles all the time, but I think that's a little bit better. Cindy says, I got my foils and I'm so excited to get some pair of eyewear toppers. Oh, Cindy, those eyewear toppers are great. I have got to find and get myself a pair of those glasses and prescriptions so that I can do them. Jessica said she finished her CDs, but I'm going to put them on canvas and I'm working on that later. Oh, Jessica, we can't wait to see. And hopefully the live that we were talking about that project the other day, when I was in West Salem, gave you some great ideas on how to figure things out. Denise, thank you so much. This is actually need to wash my hair day, but have no time for it this morning. So we just threw it on top of my head. Okay, I want to do some of our transparent and semi-transparent over some paint. So I found that I had some of the Wise Owl paints with me, and we're going to play with these, but I'm wanting to do super light colors. So they've got a cream here that I'm going to mix in with most of these, and hopefully they're still good. I've had these for a while, so, ooh, that got really thick. Okay, I think we need to stir some of this up. I don't know if they're supposed to be this thick or not, but I played with them at a convention probably a year or so ago, and our foils worked great over it. So they sent me home with some foils, and they're great sample size, and thought, oh, those would be perfect to take on the trip, okay? Because we need small containers working out of this RV. So I want to base coat some of these and get ourselves going here. And I apologize because I can hear my phone dinging in the background. I forgot to put it on silent, so hopefully we get no phone calls, okay? Oh, Jill says she received her patriotic foils. Awesome. those are going to be fun to work with. Okay, so I'm going to mix some colors up, kind of trying to get some light colors, and just kind of work with that. That way you can see how these foils are going to look like on different colors. So our transparent foils are just completely different than our regular metallic foils. And that's what a lot of this conversation is going to be about today, is the difference of foils. Not all foils are manufactured the same, processed the same, and they work a little bit different. Oh, Gigi's used these too. She said that she really liked them underneath the foils as well. So yeah, I'm always trying to check out. Ooh, this one might be, that one's probably a little old. Okay, so make sure you grab your paints quicker than I did. These have been sitting around for a while, but they're still working, okay? Just not as fresh as I had thought maybe they would be. And most products do have a little bit of a shelf life depending on how they're stored, but I'd have to check and see if there's a little water that we can add possibly to rejuvenate them. But even with them getting a little thicker, they're still working fine, okay? So I'm trying to play around and create some different colors for my base. Hello, Miss Donna. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Okay. Ooh, that one didn't. It's interesting to see how some of them, I want to say, sometimes I find colors that are heavily pigmented tend to dry out a little faster than colors that don't have a lot of pigment in them. But this was a really dark color here, and it didn't dry out. So maybe it's my lids not being on as well as they should or could be. But that turned out to a pretty color. Almost reminds me of like a dusty mauve. So we're working on wood. So let's talk about that first. These are just some wood cutout rounds that are super thin and are great for sample making. Even if you just want it to test out foils, test out colors, you can always turn these into something to use on a project, whether they get added to a wreath. Okay, I'm making a mess here. Add it to a wreath. You could create maybe coasters with them. You could string them together and make a cute little sign. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do with little cutouts like this. Okay, I want to see if I can make a different color here. Let's combine some of these. Ooh. Putting my color mixing together here. A little bit different. We'll work with that one. So I've just dirty brushed this whole project, which normally I don't do, but it's a working. Okay, so working on, ooh, that's darker than I want it, but we'll try it. Working on wood, you can use just about any paint. I always suggest a good acrylic, but if you've got a favorite paint, like you love your Dixie Belle, your Wise Old Owl, trying to think of some of the other brands out there. There are so many brands nowadays, but any of your favorite like acrylic base paint that dries to a nice sealed surface will normally work for your wood. You just want to stay away from super porous chalk paint, because I want to guarantee you most likely will have some failure if you work over. And believe me, I'm not knocking this paint. I'm just saying for the process of transferring foils, DIY paint is not recommended. Okay, it's super, super porous. and will give you definitely a hiccup or two if you try to put your foils over the top, okay? So you want to make sure that if you are picking a paint to work with, even good craft acrylics are great. Like I said, if you have a favorite paint that you use for your furniture or other projects, as long as it's more of an acrylic, it's going to dry to a sealed surface and not create a porous surface for you. You definitely can work on that. Modern Masters is great. They have some beautiful metallics, as Gigi pointed out, and that does also work great underneath the foil. But make sure you let the Modern Masters dry for several days because they're heavily pigmented with mica, which means they're softer and can take longer to dry. So with your wood, you don't have to prime it. You just want to make sure you got a good paint down. And then also let your paint dry. Don't paint it on and wait 20 minutes and then go throw your foil adhesive on and wait 20 minutes and see if this is going to work. You're not allowing things to dry as well as they possibly should. So it's really best to just kind of give things more dry time. Now, I might be pushing this a little bit faster. I might even grab my blow dryer just because I want to show the foils over these colors, okay? So I might ask Dan to grab that blow dryer when he gets a chance. So we're just going to talk foil here for a few minutes. And just want to make sure that you guys all understand that there are different types of foils. They're not all the same, and that's okay. It's great to have so many different choices, but our transparents are just manufactured differently. So the other day we used Shea and Serenity, which are beautiful foils. And the lighter the background, normally the better these will look, meaning you'll have full vibrance from the foil itself. So even having this over my table, which is really truly a cream color, if I put the foil over a white sheet of paper, do you see how it's changed the color of the foil? Okay, so the colors seem vibrant here, but when I put this white, you can see how it changes. It's just a shade deeper when it's over the cream color versus over the bright white. Most of the transparents are that way, that you're going to find your foil colors will pop way more over white backgrounds. So they just become more vibrant. You can see all the colors in the design. You can see all the detail, and you are going to get the best, I want to say, vibrant, true color transfer over white or possibly an off-white. Now, as you start changing your background color, the color of the foils, the color of the pattern is going to change, okay? We've done some videos on my YouTube channel about working with the transparents and how they are just a little bit different. But the one thing I want to make sure you all do know and understand is even though you see all this clear image in between the floral portion of the design, the clear is also transferring. So the entire sheet's going to transfer, not just the elements. And it's super important that when you are transferring, that you really scrub like your outside edge of your project. So if you're working on a round or a tumbler or whatever, or a piece of wood, whatever it is that you're working on, that outside edge, okay, that's around the actual project, it's really, really important to scrub that because it starts to release the foil from the carrier sheet and also helps you to get a really good release, okay? So not only will it help them to start releasing, but also it will help them to stop over releasing. Because if we started pulling this off, okay, and let's just say this was our project underneath and I pulled all in one direction, a lot of times the edge of the project over here when we pull off might actually pull some more of the foil. So normally when I'm transferring, I will actually pull in to the center of the surface instead of pulling away. That way we prevent some over releasing. But you normally only get over releasing with transparent foils. It doesn't seem to ever happen with our metallics. Not that you always have to transfer over white, okay? It's definitely going to be personal preference. But look at how vibrant everything shows, especially with the Serenity foil when it's over the white versus if I take that out. See how everything got muted, okay? It's still beautiful. And if I was looking for the colors to mute a little bit, a cream background will definitely help. If I'm looking for them to be super vibrant and show full color, then your white is going to be your best bet. On the website, we do have color suggestions written for each individual foil. So you can always head there first and just see what we're suggesting, but you also can kind of play with your transparents over just painted colors or even fabric or colored paper or whatever you have laying around just to get an idea of how it's going to look over a different color. Hey, and before I forget, you guys, we are featuring some of our fabulous foils today. Not all of them, but I think Ashley picked 6 for you. And those 6 foils are on sale today. So make sure you check your email. And also I did a little shout out on our text reminders. So make sure you go check it out. Those foils are gorgeous, and you might want to save a buck or two if you get a chance to place an order today, okay? So here is one of the hats that I have prepped, and this one was painted with a combination of, I mixed our acrylic with our Bondago clear, because with our hats we have to make sure we've got a really, really good sealed surface. And that's even another idea. If you feel that one of the paints you're working with is possibly a little porous, or you just want to make sure you're getting a really great super sealed surface, is even add a little Bondago clear to the paints that you're painting on your wood, okay? That would just kind of even give them a little bit more sealing when they dry, okay? And better for your foil adhesive. Oh, thank you, Gigi. Yes, I was trying to give a shout out when I sent the text today. Okay, so the Serenity or the Shea would look gorgeous on this, okay? The colors are still going to pop. Some of the colors might not just be as vibrant, okay? Kind of mutes out the yellow, mutes out the pink a little bit, but the purple and the blue are still really pretty. So I think I might end up saving this cap and doing one of our florals over it, because I don't think I've transferred too many of our transparents on hats yet. I did this one, okay, but I consider Faith to be more of a semi-transparent, not a completely transparent, okay? All of our colors are affected, but there's so much more of the base that shows in the transparent ones versus the semi-transparent. And I'm going to show you guys what I mean on that, okay? So let me roll these up a little bit. And as my little wood rounds dry, we're going to bring those out and just kind of show you the difference. So Sophia is what I would refer to as a semi-transparent foil. It is transparent based on the fact that your undercoat color is really going to play and the color that it transfers. But as you can see, there's really no clear here, okay? It just means that if I have white underneath, it's going to make, again, all your colors pop. If you've got a different color underneath, it will mute the colors, okay? But the only part that is almost completely clear are just those really light flowers, because you can see my hand back there, okay? So let's see what happens if we put this over the teal, okay? Now these flowers that looked white and peachy, okay, now look more teal. So super important to either do a test sample or just play and hold all of these flowers and floral transparent foils over your different colors to decide what you want to do. Okay, this actually is lovely, okay? Now, instead of having white flowers, I have this beautiful kind of teal color with still some of the peach showing. But if you didn't test this out first, you might not know. The one thing with these foils is they pretty much get lost over black, okay? The pattern still shows, but it gets very dark, very moody. If you're looking for something to be very understated, okay, you can definitely transfer them over the dark background, but some of them get truly lost, okay? I just kind of feel that the flowers just don't show at the degree of how much detail and how beautiful they are when we throw them over dark, okay? But if you're looking for something to be a little bit darker and moody, definitely do a sample first, okay? This one is Sandrina, okay? If you guys have any questions, if I have not answered anything, and I know I'm really diving deep on this, but we've had a couple of people recently that transferred some of our semi-transparent and transparent foils over dark finishes, and we're super disappointed. And I just want to make sure that that never happens, okay? So this one here is called Sophia. I want to make sure you guys know the names, okay? And then this one is Sandrina. Now, Sandrina has beautiful floral bouquets in here, and the colors are super vibrant, and we still have a lot of white background. So if you decide to put this one over a color base, okay, it's definitely going to mute your flowers, but all of your open space will be whatever color that you have painted the surface. So if you're looking for more color on your project, again, your florals might get more muted. They're a little bit softer. You might not see all the detail, but it's still pretty, even over a light blue. So even if we got that blue a little bit lighter, okay, this is like one of my lightest ones I got as far as color. See how the lighter the background, the more vibrant the colors get. The darker our background goes, the more muted they do end up. But I still think they're beautiful. You just have to test and play and figure out what you personally like, okay? But if you want to always transfer these with their fullest vibrance, white will be your best bet, okay? Now let's see how well dry these are, okay? I am definitely going to be beyond pushing things here, okay? Because, oh, they still feel really cool. Okay, we might wait on that. But they're dry enough that I can just show you, okay? So when I throw paint on, and I'm just trying to figure out how dry it is. Now, it's dry to the touch that it's not going to come off on me, but if I put my hand on there, it feels super cool, meaning that these are not dry enough to go forward. You could hit them with a blow dryer and speed it up a little bit, as also considering how thin of a coat I did apply, it would probably be okay, but the longer you allow this to dry before you go forward, I just feel it's best. Okay, so here's a little test, okay? And I want to make sure we still have a lot of white showing, because I think it's always great to be able to see the different colors and compare how different they look, and then over the white. Okay, so the white's going to show more vibrance, but here, that one is the real soft teal color. This one, again, is a green underneath. This one's one of the pinks. It really threw everything a little bit more pink. This one is the blue, so it just changes your colors of the foil. So these are all really pink versus, look how when I pull it over, that would really be a white or a peachy colored flower without that background. So you can play with your background colors and just adjust the whole color of the foil. So even though it is designed to be a peached tone, okay, I can definitely go over my teal color and I can alter the color of the foil. So when this transfers, it will transfer to that color, which I think is super cool, because you can alter the final look of your foils by your base coat. So play with base coat colors, you guys. I guess that's my important takeaway from today. And I do have a hat that's ready to go, and I think we'll transfer one of these on a hat. But again, look how gorgeous all of these look over the different base colors. I don't feel it takes away, but it definitely alters and softens the palette. So let's figure out which one we want to do over white. Okay, I've got a hat here. It's been sitting around for days. I got a feeling it's gotten stuck to different things that have been around here, because I have been moving stuff constantly, and I think this hat has fallen more than once, okay? But it's still sticky. It's ready to go. And let's see. Do I have just a white? Oh, okay, let's just do a little testing. See if we want to do shea foil on there, or even if we want to do Sophia. Sophia would be pretty on there too on a white hat. I pulled out Sandrina. Sandrina will still show a lot of white, but we could position this where there's a ton of the floral that gets transferred over the bill, and just a little bit of the white shows. Oh, there's so many options. Oh, how about some voting, you guys? Help me out here. There's enough of you on here to help with your opinion. We could possibly do maybe shea on top and even put Serenity underneath, because these two complement each other. There's just so many of them, okay? That's sometimes hard to decide. This is what Faith looks like before it was transferred, okay? Because I showed you that hat a minute ago and how gorgeous that looked, okay? So Faith is pretty darn transparent. And again, even with Faith, you can change the color of the flowers, okay? So this is going to make them look more green. instead of white and blue. Let's try the pink underneath. Okay, that kind of makes it look a little bit more purple and pink. The dark blue, okay, that's just going to deepen all the colors, and the flowers that were white on the hat will be blue as well. So it's just fun that you can really change the whole look. I love the first flower one. Oh, Shay. Must have been Shay, okay? Cindy, we're just going to go with Shay because I don't think I've ever put Shay on a hat. So I think that will be fun. And we'll save that one for another day as well. But this one's ready, okay? And this way I can show you also some of the technique for transferring, okay? But I always talk about how important it is to do some samples first, okay? I never suggest that your first attempt at foiling is actually done on your project. I feel it's really best to grab, okay, I'm going to overcut this just because I want maybe a particular part of this. Okay, so I'm going to cut this too big. Hey, Dan, should be ready in 30.
Okay.
Vote for Shay. Okay, everybody's voting for Shay. So we're going to definitely go that way. And that way I'll probably put Serenity on the inside of the bill. Okay, so you can determine which direction you want to put this. You can also figure out which way you want the flowers to go. You have complete control at this point. You don't have to just lay it and do it straight, okay? You can go whatever direction you want. And that's one thing I love about working with the foils and playing with placement. Okay, I was going to try to get the butterfly, but I think I'm going to let that go and just get a big portion of the flowers on here, okay? I want to get the most vibrance I can get. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and let that sit down there. We're going to get those scissors back out that I just put away. Silly me, okay? And I'm going to do a little cutting. And one of these days, I'm going to break down and create a form so that I can cut a little bit more precise and get the foil to lay down a little bit easier, okay? But a little trimming here and there. And I normally can force the foil, okay? I got a little bit of a wrinkle, but not bad. And don't worry, we'll keep all the rest and we'll hold on to everything and we'll put it in the scrap pile and we'll use it on another project. Because I'm telling you, scraps are great. They work on all your little projects. You can keep them for earrings, if you do keychains, if you create tiny little, like gift tags. I mean, there's so many tiny little projects that we can do that you can use all your scraps. So always hold on to those. Jessica says she's terrible. She never tests anything. Well, you know, sometimes if you're okay with just going on the fly, okay, then go for it, okay? I don't always test either, but there are times where, you know, throughout my whole career, which has been 35 years, you guys. We're getting ready to go to our 36th year this fall. That working for clients didn't like me just winging it. So I'm a huge believer in sample making because sample making just, you learn so much. You learn a lot during that process. And you can figure out all the details of the project. You can figure out what is your favorite base coat. You can also figure out what are some of the favorite products to work over as far as like maybe your paints. And again, even if you have a favorite paint that is more porous, like we were talking about chalk paints, I don't recommend going over chalk paints. If that is your whole like collection of paints, you could always use our Bondago Clear over your chalk paint and seal it, okay? So there's so many ways to get a great base down, but you do want to make sure when working on hats that your surface is super sealed, meaning the first layer that we do on our hats is always Bondago. And I don't care which Bondago color. It could be white, black, canvas white, or the clear if you like the color. And then lately, I have been taking the clear Bondago, okay, and mixing it even with my acrylic for a second coat. And that way I have a different color if I want to just play with my base coat colors on my hats. So again, remember, we want to really scrub that outside edge because we don't want to waste any of the foil. If you get over release, that is truly waste, okay? That just means if I pull out this way in this direction, possibly the rest of that flower would transfer or just pull off as a carrier sheet. And how to help prevent that is scrubbing your edge really well as pulling in instead of pulling away. And I keep referring back to my video that I did with Joy from Hope and Joy Collectives, okay? Because it was fun working with her and having her right next to my side and just, you know, talking about techniques and having her do something and then going like, see, if you go that direction, there's definitely the possibility of having a over release, okay? So now that I've scrubbed, getting these to start, you guys, is more work than our regular foils, okay? Our regular metallic foils transfer easier to start with versus these. Okay, so here I am. I'm pulling that off. Let's make sure I'm on the correct side. Hopefully I didn't get that upside down. Ooh, maybe I did. Ooh, okay. I might have done that. This is upside down. It's not going to transfer at all. It doesn't matter how long I scrub that, okay? I did not check my foil. Okay, so what a great video, you guys. I am now showing you what happens if you get your foils upside down. Okay, Shea is slightly different from transfer side to carrier side, okay? And I'm going to double test now and just make sure. The other day, we didn't have any tape to play with, but Shea, carrier side should be a little brighter, okay? Transfer side should be a little bit more matte looking. So let me test. Okay, this is a section that we're not going to be using. And let me pull off my tape here and see if I can get this to transfer, okay, onto the tape. Okay, a little bit came off, which means, oh, there we go. That is the transfer side. I did have it upside down. Ha. So it even happens to the best of us, you guys, okay. But now I have my foil cut really well. I pulled it off, and I'm just going to put it right back down in the correct direction. You know, I've never done that on a live, but I am so glad I did because I know everybody freaks out when that happens, okay? And truly, I should have just done it on purpose to begin with, but I think that was the best learning experience I could have ever shown you guys, okay? it happens. It happens to all of us. If you don't check your foils, it's so easy once you've got them on the table and you're, moving things around, that you can get things upside down. But guess what? It's still gonna work, okay? Now, one of the tricks that I had done for years, and sometimes I get lazy about it, is once I cut it off of the roll and I know I've got the carrier side facing up, I'll put a piece of tape on it. So that way, if it does get flipped around on my table and I'm moving things around and I can't figure out what side, and this way I'm not wasting and testing the foil, okay? But I can just put a piece of tape on the carrier side, which reminds me, hey, Jen, don't be stupid and put it on upside down, okay? But it happens. We've all I think, done it at least once. I have done it way more than once, okay? With the metallic foils, it's always easy to catch before you do it. But the transparents, Jessica said she did it the other day. And please, don't feel stupid, you guys. It's really hard to tell, okay? That almost looks identical from transfer side to carrier side. There is the slightest difference. And that one piece right there was even really hard for me to tell. I would have had to test. So just make sure you're taking the time to either put a piece of tape on so that you know, or test it before you put it on your project, okay? So here we go again. I'm really getting my scrubbing in today, okay? Make sure we got that outside edge going. Let's scrub really good, and let's see if we get a little bit better results. Oh, guess what happens when you have it down the right way? Look at that. We're getting a great transfer. Silly girl. But you guys don't understand. I really am glad I did that, because I don't want anybody else to ever freak out and feel like they've ruined their project if that happens, okay? Just pull that carrier sheet off, flip your foil over, and see what you're getting. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at that. The peel and reveal is just phenomenal here. Now, I'm going to tell you that this foil, which is Shea, and I'm going to tell you guys it's spelled S-H-E-A, okay? We spelt it different, okay? So if you're looking for it on the website, S-H-E-A, the transfer on this is remarkable. It is truly a great transferring foil, especially the longer you allow that foil adhesive to dry. The foil adhesive has been on this hat for many, many days, okay? So it's transferring so much better than it did the other day when Joy and I were working together, because we had put that foil adhesive on right before the live. So it didn't have time. Oops, did I miss a little piece? Oh, I think there's a little piece I could possibly get here. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. Oh, there is a tiny little bit. Okay. So I'm just lining up that because I pulled off too fast before I checked. And I'm trying to get that last part. Okay. Ooh. I don't know about you guys, but that is freaking gorgeous, okay? That right there is awesome. So do me a favor. If you're going to use the Shea, the Serenity, any of the transparent foils, let your foil adhesive dry for 24 hours if you can, or at least maybe 4 to 6, because I'll tell you, these are all going to transfer so much better the longer you allow it to dry. But I've got a feeling that this is probably my new favorite hat. That is beautiful. And you can wear it with anything. Look at all those colors. So, I'm not completely done with this one. We're definitely going to work on the other side. But I do want to go through the process of showing you guys what I do next, because so many times I transfer the foil and I don't do the next step. Okay. All these plates are stuck together. Okay, here's a clean one. We're going to seal. So your next layer should be your final coat. And we use our final coat because it never dries beyond a firm tack, which never mind that. You guys, boy, my brain went in two different directions. Starting once again, take two. We use final coat as our top coat to seal our foils on our hats and shoes because it never dries stiff and hard. It remains flexible and will not crack. Okay, take two was perfect, you guys. Woo! Talk about getting your products backwards or mixed up. I sure never want to lead anybody down the wrong path, okay? So your final coat is how you want to seal your caps and shoe projects. A little bit goes a super long way. And as soon as I'm done transferring my gorgeous foil, I can seal it. That way, this is protected. And no matter what else I want to do, my foils are protected, sealed. And because it goes on so incredibly thin, I always put on about 3 coats, okay? And because you are putting it on so nice and thin, these coats dry fast. So within probably 20, maybe 30 minutes max, this should be dry enough that I could put another coat on, another coat, however many I need, okay? So we will put on a couple of coats, and then we'll eventually flip this over and do the other side. Or if you want to leave it natural and leave it white with nothing, you can. But I got a feeling I'm either going to do shea again on the inside, or maybe I'll just go ahead and be a little bit more delicate and we'll do serenity on the inside. But my biggest takeaway, you guys, today is please test first whether it is doing an actual sample or at least holding your foils over the different colors so that you see how they adjust the foil color, okay? Because all of your transparents are going to come out looking different color over different base colors. So I hope that leaves you with a lot of food for thought and some great tips and tricks for making sure that your foils come out exactly the way you had hoped that they would, okay? My biggest thing, guys, is I want you to be successful. I want you to love your projects. I want you to be proud and happy of what you've done. And I don't want anybody to waste their foils or their time. So I'll try my best to give you all the tips and tricks I possibly can. And look, okay, I know I got a pony on here, but look how cute that is. I am styling already, okay? We might have to finish this one and take it with us, okay? Could be my new ballpark hat instead of wearing A's. Or I could put a big A on this one too. That would be cute. Okay, guys, we have got to get packed up because we are heading into Toronto. And we're going to be there for one night, but we're going to be there for 2 games, okay? So we're going to watch the game tonight. And then tomorrow they have an earlier game, so we'll be able to watch that and still drive home at a decent hour. Thank you guys for hanging out. Don't forget, there's a sale going today, and it is 6 of our favorite foils that we have put on sale for you. So make sure you head over to the website, check it out. There might be something that you've been wanting to grab, and at least you can get a few dollars off today. So thank you guys. I appreciate all of you being here. If I've missed a question or a comment, I will get on my phone while we're driving. You guys, I got 2 hours. I can answer all the questions, okay? Have a blessed day, and we'll see you guys probably on Sunday. Bye.